Brad Celebrity Stylist here. Kim Weaver today. You love her. I love her. We just did a half-hour interview. We said, okay, we'll do 10-15 minutes, but we had so much knowledge that, we ended up doing a 30-minute interview. So she's going to be live. She's going to be answering your questions, anything that you have that you want to know. Hey, Shannon. So make sure to swipe up and invite your followers. If you're on Android, swipe right. If you're on your iOS device, make sure to send some hearts and give Kim a warm welcome. Thank you for the hearts. So if you see Kim on there, so Kim, say hi. So you see at Head Shape Matters, then just make sure to give her a follow. Right? If you're not following me already, then make sure that you do. So Brad Celebrity Stylist at Brad Does Hair. And then, send the hearts. And we'll have it out there. Have your questions ready. So I'm going to flip the camera now over to Kim. So I'm just going to adjust. She's here via live. Right now. And then, so send a heart. So Kim Weaver Moore, she's been a hairstylist for... Oh, she graced your... Oh, so Heidi says she graced your scope last night. Oh, so you get around on Periscope. So Kim Weaver Moore, she's been a hairstylist for 27 years, a salon owner for 11 years. She's been a guest artist with Aveda. She's the creator of the DVD, The Formula, and she's done 6 seasons of New York Fashion Week, and she's just been awarded the patent for Head Shape Matters. So... Oh yeah, she has amazing hair. I know. so.
I can't see any of the comments. So.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay. She's live. She's on my laptop, but she'll read it after on the replay. But one thing I want to talk to you about, Kim, is you were just awarded the patent for Head Shape Matters. So I want to say bravo to you. Woohoo! You know what I mean? Getting a patent, I guess, must be, involved process. So I'd like you to tell us your story about, how the patent came to be, why you believe there needed to be a patent, and what's your journey from when you started to now, I guess, to when you got the letter and said, hey, you've got a patent.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I had the idea for Head Shape Matters, I'd say around 2008, and when I had 2 clients that I gave the same haircut to, and exact same cut, but it looked different on the 2 ladies, and I knew it had to do with head shape. So I just started really paying attention to that and looking for answers on how I changed my angles on different head shapes. And the more I looked, the more confused I got, because I was a cutting educator and had certain beliefs about hair cutting. I didn't understand what I was seeing. And so I decided at the end of 2010, so I had already been looking at it for 2 years, like what am I seeing? Really increasing my time with clients, didn't color hair, I just really focused on hair cutting, trying to find answers behind the chair, and could not. So I decided to close my salon and research this very thing. Just, gluing hair onto styrofoam shape and cutting it and see what happens and how do I change my angles. And so I was going to use the sale of my salon to fund my research, and all of that fell through. I ended up going through a bankruptcy, lost my salon, building, my home, just everything. But it put me in a phenomenal place in that I had nothing to lose. I literally had nothing to lose. And so when you're in that place, the thought so many times, I was scared to post certain things because I was coming against some of the very things I used to teach. And there was a lot of fear around that, for me. But at the same time, I thought, what are they going to do? Take my house? I can't do that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I had nothing, so...
No, that's right. What are you going to take?
What are they going to do? The only thing they can do is kill me at this point, and nobody's going to kill me over this.
No.
So I might as well go for it, There's only one way to go, and that was up.
Yes.
And so I just started sharing it, and it started to get some traction on Facebook. And, just started booking classes for it. And one of the girls that took the class said, you know what, you need to have this patented.
Yes.
Once she saw it, and because it is so different than traditional hair cutting. It's a whole different way of looking at hair, at looking at cutting angles, at looking at gravity and how gravity affects our angles. The whole thing is different. We start cutting from the top instead of the bottom. I mean, just the whole thing, everything about it is different.
Wow,
And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so when she saw it, she was like, you have got to have it patented. And didn't have the money to get it patented, but she said, I'll loan you the money. I'll write you a check. You've got to apply for a patent.
Yeah.
So I did the provisional patent, which lasted about a year and a half.
Okay.
And then was able to, through teaching classes, pay for the, what's it called? Utility patent.
Okay.
Application, which is a whole different thing. And paid for that as I went for, with my classes. So that was a huge hunk of money.
Oh, yes,
and,
yes.
So all of that meant for years I had to really, really live way below my means and work ungodly hours to make a dream come true. And so, I had shared a video recently of my story, and it's so true. Sometimes when you chase a dream, things will get a whole lot worse before they get better. And it's almost like you're being challenged, like how bad do you want it?
Indeed, indeed. Yes, yes.
You go the distance. Will you give everything for this?
Yes.
And I did. And so came out on the other side.
Oh, yes.
Came out on the other side.
winning.
So yeah, when I got the call, I haven't even got the paperwork yet, but the patent office had contacted my patent attorney.
Yeah.
And it's a specific form that they sent, which means that you get the patent. So,
okay. Yes.
he called me, and I just lost it. I just cried like a little wimp. I did.
Yeah. So all that time you put in, all that, kind of scraping by or living below your means or things like that, which makes that you really wanted it. You really wanted to, have this thing come into fruition, and it shows, because look how far you come and look where you are now. Your life is totally transformed,
Yes.
as well, sort of thing. It's totally amazing, and I'm sure you're excited because you will be teaching on the 2016 cruise. The head shape matters. You know what I mean? Your concepts, things like that. So it's like I'm sure a lot of people have questions coming up. So if any of you Periscope viewers are here, if you have questions for Kim, be sure to put them in. Sabrina says inspirational. You know what I mean? So it's more stuff coming up, but I think the biggest problem I think a lot of stylists have is how to cut layers properly. So can you address this, Kim, and tell us a little bit more of what the common challenge is when hairstylists try to cut layers into the hair?
Yes. Two of the biggest challenges with long layers is this. In my research, what I found was that hair that's 6 inches or longer will fall into gravity a specific way. And if we cut hair at 90 degrees from the head shape, instead of it falling into a layer, which is what I have taught, what is taught in the schools, what we've all been taught,
yes.
If I cut hair at 90 degrees from the head, that it will fall into a layer. But if the hair is 6 inches or longer, it will not.
Ah, okay.
It will not. It will fall into graduation.
Okay. Because I guess we've always been taught that, if you pull the hair 90 from the head, it'll fall 90 when it falls down. I think that's the way we've been, we've all been taught, in school.
Yes. And if you take if you take a book.
Yes.
And, you turn that book upside down. I don't have one with me. But then you let those pages fall.
Yes.
It will fall like this.
But
if you think about a book, it's 90 degrees.
That's right. Yeah.
But when that falls, the pages will fall just like this. It builds graduation.
Yes. Yes.
It's the law of gravity. It's not something that we can change. It just is what it is.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
It's not going to fall into what we cut it into because of gravity. So that's the huge challenge, is that it is so predominant that that's what we're taught. You know, all the time I see it on the pages that we're all a part of, and someone asks for help because their layers look choppy. And tons of people, very well-meaning, just like myself,
Yes.
what I taught for a very long time, I would have said the same thing.
Yep.
You know, so I'm not casting any stones. It just took a lot of research to figure out why it was happening. But, you know, that's the common thing. We'll cut it at 90 and then point cut.
That's right.
Why are they point cutting? Because we just put weight in the hair.
Yes, and now you have to soften. You have to soften it up. And sometimes, you know, you're in school. Basically, they teach you. You cut a square. You pull it out 90, and to soften that line, you either point cut or you use thinning shears to soften out that weight line.
Yep.
You know, that's just what, you know, that's what most of the students, even today, you know, as opposed to yesterday and the day before, that's how they've always been cut. Pull up 90, cut it off. Pull up 90, cut it off. If you have a weight line, use a thinning shear or point cut in just to kind of soften the line a little bit, you know.
Right. Well, one thing that you see a lot of too, and I was taught this way too, is cut the hair at 180. So everything is pulled straight up and cut like across. So
yes.
Pull everything up parallel to the floor and cut. Well, the hair right on top, if I'm pulling it straight up, that's 90 from head shape.
That's correct, yeah.
And so when that falls, it builds a shelf. Now, everything underneath it might look layered. That's because it's been cut at 180 from the head shape. Because it's being pulled straight up.
Yes, yes.
But the top hairs, or the hairs in the top levels, are creating this big shelf on top. And it ends up looking what I call it a bob on top.
Of course, yeah, we all.
It's like a jellyfish, where there's, you know, just this hair and then tendrils hanging underneath. And it's such an easy fix.
Yes, yes.
It's such an easy fix.
I know,
so
but I guess that's the biggest.
Something I'm teaching on the cruise, you know, is a long layered class. It's a really easy fix.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest issue, I think, you know what I mean? Silas is on, he says great scope. Shannon is on, you know what I mean? So we have got lots of great, you know, stylists on here. So Silas, if you have any questions for Kim, make sure you pop them into the thing. We're going to stop for a minute and just kind of say, invite your followers. Make sure that you get some questions for Kim. She's on here live right now. She can ask her anything you want, because I know Shannon's on the cruise. Silas will be on the cruise. So they're all here. So then everybody's kind of, you know, coming in. If you want to say, you know, hi to Kim, you know, put it in the feed. Thank you for inviting your followers, Sabrina. You know, thank you, Silas. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for everyone that's on here. You know what I mean? It's great information. So Shannon says, how do we learn more about your techniques? Do you just teach classes? Or so I think what we'll do is at the end, Kim will let you know where you can find out more. Because I know Shannon, you'll see Kim on the cruise, but she'll also let you know where you can go, where you can see your YouTube videos, which, you know, I saw even just one, and I learned one of Kim's techniques. And for me, it changed my world and my cutting system in general. It was so profound and just so easy to implement. It was just incredible. So, do you guys have any questions for Kim right now? Just pop them in the feed, and we'll let her know so she can answer. And even just to say hi, how you doing, whatever. You know, that's good. We do have the broadcast limited to people I do follow. So if you're not following me, make sure you do, and I'll follow you back. And then we'll just continue with Kim now. So I know you created a DVD called The Formula. Can you tell me about that, Kim?
Yes, it's 5 chapters. It's a little bit different than, I guess, maybe a lot of DVDs in that you have a chapter and it breaks down one concept of the system. And so, you know, like one chapter is projection angles, like how to find the projection angles from the head shape. And it's not just 0, 45, 90. It's all the angles because we have a whole lot more at our disposal.
Wow.
Than just 0, 45, and 90, right?
Yes.
There's way more.
Yeah.
There's like 180 of them.
Oh my gosh.
You know? And so
oh my gosh.
that's just one chapter. But at the end of the chapter, there's also worksheets. So it comes with the DVD, and then it comes with a CD that you print off a workbook.
Oh,
and so with every chapter, there's activities that you do using like a protractor so you can understand the difference between slope and angle. And, you know, it just kind of takes you through a little bit of geometry lesson. So it just teaches you that chapter, gives you activities, and then it also gives you a test. That you can do to make sure you understood that chapter. And then in the end of the workbook is the answers, so that you can check yourself or, you know, make sure you did okay. So yeah, it's pretty in depth. It's not something you just watch and things sink in through osmosis. You know what I mean? It's like you have to do the work.
Oh, definitely.
To get it. So it's really for those who are really hardcore and have the discipline to push themselves to the next level for real.
Wow. So if we do have some people that are on here now that are taking your Head Shape Matters on the cruise, what should they expect to get, and then what are you teaching? What is the outcome after they learn from you? And then we'll also have at the end, if they're not going on the cruise, you know, where they can go to find you online and things like that.
Absolutely. So one of the classes I'm teaching is learning how to do a head shape analysis. And that's a really key part of my system. And it's something you do for a client as a separate service. It's just so you have their head mapped out in your computer system so that you always have their head shape available to you. And in that head shape analysis, what we're going to be doing on the cruise is finding each other's head shape. It's pretty enlightening.
Yes.
Yeah, so for those that are coming to the class, don't fix your hair before you come, because we're going to be all up in it, okay? But we're going to find each other's head shape, and you're going to take that home with you. It's so eye-opening when you start to see, okay, instead of having a round head, I have 4 inches of vertical plane on the back of my head.
It's all flat.
I might have 3 inches of a diagonal plane in my crown. And that's why my hair will never give me volume there. Or maybe you always get a step at the same place. And it may be because your head's like mine, where it looks like an A-frame house. And there's a huge difference. So if I've got a vertical plane and a diagonal right next to each other, there's 45 degrees of difference right there. So if I'm picking up hair from here and cutting them together and thinking I'm blending them, it's not blended when it falls.
That's right.
There's 45 degree of difference once the hair falls. So it's so eye-opening to take this class and really learn how to analyze a head shape. And you'll automatically, too, start thinking about your own clients. Like, that's why that happens to so-and-so.
Yes.
You know, it's just a huge eye-opener. So that's one of the classes. And one of the others is the long layers. Because that's a big challenge for a lot of stylists. And
I think,
was for me, too.
To get them.
I had to cut hair once, dry it, and then cut it again to get rid of all the steps that I had just put in there. So that's a huge class, and the fix is so simple. It's just changing our cutting angles and cutting from the head shape at all times. So it's it can make you so much money behind the chair.
Oh, of course, yeah. And if you
Just
know,
knowing that simple fix.
and I think too, if you can, blend layers properly. For a lot of people, I think that's one of the main things they have is one, choppy layers they have to deal with if they're doing corrective. The other is having it flat on top and trying to get lift. And I think a lot of us try by, again, using a thinning shear, point cutting in there, trying to alleviate some bulk. But because the head shape isn't taken into account, then you end up with the top still being flat and then having a weight line on the outside. So it's like, and I think that's the simplest things. And, as I say, if it's a quick fix, to invest a small amount to learn something that's going to be profound and change your life, I think it'll be amazing for, anybody that's taking, taking your class and things like that. Like Shannon had asked, so do you teach outside of the cruise? Where do you teach? What do you teach? Do you have an academy? Do you have a website? Where can people go to find more about Kim Weaver Moore and Head Shape Matters and the other stuff that you have as well?
Absolutely. Thank you, Shannon. So one of the big things that I've done this year, which was brand new for me, is a 7-week online training course. And here's why I chose to do that. When this is a full system, so it's hard to go in and just do a one-day class and try to feed somebody so much information in one day. And then you leave, and then you don't know if they really got it or how they're doing with it, because you're off to the next class. And for me to really, because this is like changing a whole paradigm of the way we see hair cutting. So for me, it was important to have more time. And I obviously can't go to live somewhere for 7 weeks, and do that every 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So doing it online and having a private Facebook forum where they're constantly turning in their homework and I can check it online and there's feedback between the students, and it's really breaking down the concepts and really working together as a classroom and then getting the next concept and building on that, making sure everybody gets it. It's okay. So that's been amazing. I love that. I do have a team of educators, and I'm growing that because one-day classes are still powerful, and a lot of people still just want to get their hands in it instead of doing an online course.
Yes. And you?
So I do have a team of educators, and I've got more that I'm training. And so I've just hired my first full-time employee.
Woo!
Today.
Awesome. Woo! Yay!
And so she's going to be helping me so much to be able to line up classes for my educators and get this into all the regions. I do 5-day courses in Atlanta. It's called certification, where you can become certified in this cutting system.
Awesome.
And not everybody that comes gets certified, because I'm not going to throw you out there and send, because people email me all the time, like, where can I get one of these haircuts?
Yes.
And they're willing to drive 4 and 5 hours to go get one of these haircuts.
Yes.
I'm not going to put somebody in the position to fail. Or
obviously, if they don't fully understand the concepts, if they're not ready, you can't just shove them out and have them fail.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, I think sometimes there's things you can just go show up at the class and get a certification, and that's not what this is. This is just making sure that you truly understand the system and that you're ready for people to come sit in your chair with this. And the people that aren't ready, that doesn't mean they're not ever going to do it. It just means we might need to do some Skype training. We might need to have you come to and shadow me or shadow one of my other educators for a couple classes. So I do that. And then next year I'm planning on doing a certification on the West Coast.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I do have in the plans to write a book about head shape. So lots of things Lots of things coming.
Oh yeah, and you always have to be going, you always have to be moving, you always have to be. But would you say that anybody who takes that's certified from the Head Shape Matters certification, that you instill from being an okay stylist, that it really builds a lot of confidence in themselves and in their technique through your certification?
So much. It's like, I don't even know how to describe the messages I get from people once they leave certification and go back and get behind the chair. Because the depth of knowledge that you have in hair cutting,
yes,
is mind-blowing. It's not learning a haircut. It is understanding hair and angles and how it falls and how density comes into play and how hairlines come into play and growth patterns come into play, and dissecting hair cutting down to the nth degree, literally.
Yes.
You know, and what hair can and cannot do. You know it 100%.
Yes.
So that you don't ever get yourself in a situation where you're trying to do something that hair won't do. Because there's not, you know, maybe a previous haircut. The angles you need aren't there because the hair's been cut off or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can analyze all those things before you start cutting and make such informed decisions and options for your client.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, and see, and this delves a lot deeper, because I find when we go to school, instead of learning the head shape, we learn face shape. So is the shape round? Is it oval? Is it square? Is it, you know, and that's what we cut the hair to. And you try to cut the hair towards this perfect oval shape face, but not to the head, right? So where this is much more in depth, and usually as far as, like you say, growth pattern, things like that, you know what I mean, you cut to the face shape, and then they teach you, is it thin hair? Is it medium hair? Is it thick hair? You know, and then you have a little chapter in your book on curly hair, and that's about right. And Shannon says right, and it is totally, because instead of having this training that we really need in the schools, we get basic, I don't want to say fluff, but basically, I mean, we learn enough to get our licensing, but they don't really go in depth like you do. That we kind of need that education out there, and as I say, the small investment that it takes in someone to you know, increase your level of technique, to increase your confidence in your skill, to, you know, I mean, getting ongoing testimonials, you know, from clients is, you know, that in itself I think is reward, you know, that you've done something for yourself, and I believe in education. I myself have spent hundreds of thousands in education, and, you know, still get sometimes very little back, but sometimes I get great nuggets of gold, which is so amazing. And that's why I encourage everybody that's on the cruise or not to invest in Kim Weaver Moore. As I say, I just saw some of your stuff on YouTube, and it changed my life. So I know I'm definitely, you know, going to be the first one up in that front row, taking lots of notes, you know, and things like that, going to your website, which I've already checked out already. As I say, looking at the list, I mean, you've been a hairstylist for 27 years. You were, you know, a salon owner for 11 years, a guest educator with Aveda, you know, the creator of the DVD, The Formula, you know, six seasons of New York Fashion Week. You know what I mean? Awarded a patent. I mean, and that's only just some of the stuff that you do, as I say, just to be near you, to tap into your knowledge. I mean, if we could just stand beside people and go through like osmosis and absorb it all. But, you know what I mean? I understand why it has to be seven sessions. And I mean, probably there's more, you know, for them to go beyond, you know, beyond that, and to excel, and, you know, things like that. I mean, it's been so great. I'm going to wrap it up because there's been lots, and I know we'll have more talks again. You know, Shannon's like, yes, I know Shannon. So I know Shannon's probably going to sign up for your class. You know what I mean? Because, you know, the education, I mean, I'm so glad Silas will be there as well, and some other people that are on here. You know, Heidi, she'll be on the cruise as well. So we got lots of people that are coming. It's going to be like Old Home Week for everybody that we've seen online, but we've never actually kind of met in person, sort of thing. But it'll be nice once we get there, we can kind of relax, get a lot of great education. So on the sale days, we'll be learning like crazy, probably right from the time, we start. You'll have some days on land in Georgetown, Grand Cayman, and also Cozumel, Mexico. So it's going to be incredible. I mean, how excited are you, Kim, to be on this cruise? And then I'll get you to let people know more about where they can find you.
I am so excited. Who doesn't want to be on a cruise and in the sun and just enjoying great friends and drinks and just all of it. The whole thing of putting together a hairstylist cruise is brilliant.
Yes.
And I can't wait to take other people's classes and just hang out and talk about our struggles and our triumphs and how we've all come up in this thing together and how we're all growing together and what social media's done for all of us. So powerful.
Yeah.
You said something earlier, and I want to just address it real quick before we go. In my class, one of the lessons that I have them watch the movie Gyro Dreams of Sushi.
Oh,
have you seen that?
I don't believe. I'll write it down so we can. If somebody's listening, if they could write that down. So how do you spell that? So gyro.
Gyro is J-I-R-O. Dreams of Sushi.
Okay. Oh, I have heard of this. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So one of their homework assignments is to watch this movie. And then they have to write about what is their prize.
Okay.
So for Gyro, he is he's the highest paid, most sought after sushi chef in the world. Right?
Yes.
People fly from all over the world, pay $300 to sit down for 30 minutes, and they don't even get to choose what they eat. He decides what they eat.
Oh, okay.
But I asked him, what is his prize? Why does he do what he does? Why does he go to the extremes that he does? And it's not for anything else other than absolute pride in his work.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And I asked my students, okay, what is the prize for you? Why would you put yourself through the 7-week program, which I'm not going to lie, is hard.
Okay.
It's not for the weak at heart, I promise you.
Yeah.
It is
hardcore.
All right? What would make you go through this, and what would be your prize? And overall, all the way through, the number one thing is to know how to cut hair.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, not just like I know how to cut hair, like
to really know. Yeah.
That I know how to cut hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's powerful and that's huge. And when you get in certain situations and you know that you know,
yes,
that's so powerful. So I look forward to being able to share this with more and more and more and more people and on bigger venues and being at the cruise and being able to touch a lot of people and at least share little tidbits that will open our eyes to, gosh, head shape really does matter.
It makes a big difference. And to say, it's one thing in schools that they do not touch on. You know what I mean? We had a comment there, that was said, Ms. I don't want to just be a stylist, and that's it. To know, and to do is to know. To know and to not do is to not to know. And I think that's what it really is, because one is a superficial, but one comes within, and when you just know, you just know. And once you apply that, it really makes such a big difference in how you come across to your clients, to other people, even for yourself. As far as, because a lot of people cut, but they're very insecure. They may hide it to their clients, but they're so insecure and nervous when they're doing it. But to know and to do, and once they've gone through your rigorous 7-part program, I think to be an excellent stylist, because I know when I trained with a world champion, and he broke you down. People cried, people quit because they couldn't take it. But it does make you a better stylist, but you have to go through all the steps to get there. You can't just say, I graduated school, I want to make $5,000 a week in a new salon with no clients. It's not going to happen. You have to pay your dues, you have to put in your time, you have to be knowledgeable, and you have to be training in your technique. I mean, Shannon says exactly, and I know Shannon's going to be on board, and it's going to be amazing. And I know Shannon's one of the one. She wanted to know where she can find more about you, where she should go. And we're always learning, like that sort of thing. Or if people have any questions, as I said, Shannon, because you're in the group, that when we go to the 2016 Hairstylist group, you'll see an incredible interview that I just did with Kim just right before this one here on Periscope. So if you have any questions or you want to ask Kim anything, just list them right below the video, and I'm sure she'll be there to answer what she needs or lead you to where you need to go for the answer to that. So Kim, where's the best place to send people if they want to check you out, learn about your 7-part series, learn about Head Shape Matters, anything that you want to kind of share with them? You can just let them know now, because I know Shannon's interested and probably a few others watching as well.
Okay. It's headshapematters.com is the website. On YouTube, it's Kim Moore Hair. On Facebook, my educator page is Kim Moore Hair Education. And on Facebook, it's Kim Weaver Moore. I'm at the friends limit, but you can follow me on there. And that's basically the best way to get a hold of me and see all of my information. And I can't wait to see everybody on the cruise. Thanks for being here.
That's awesome. I want to thank you so much, Kim, for 2 great interviews. Even though, it's probably, wow, it's like an hour and a half has passed, and it seems like we haven't even started. It's like, I may have to have you back several times. Shannon says thank you. And I hope you guys really enjoyed Kim today. She is an amazing educator, as I say, just for the little bit that I've spoke with her, and even previously before the interviews. She has such an inspirational story. She's such a strong, incredible woman. She's an amazing educator. I can't really say enough about Kim Weaver Moore, because she is an amazing, brilliant person. And I love you, and I'll see you on the cruise. But we'll talk more and more before then, because I know a lot of people want to know more about you. And clients say yes, she is. And when you watch the replay, and I want to thank everybody if you're watching the replay of this, share it out. It's good for 24 hours. I'll try to post it if I can, but if not, it's a 24-hour, and you'll see Kim on again. So make sure to follow her. Head Shape Matters, and then we'll have you on again soon. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
And I'm just going to flip the camera here. So, hey everyone, so thank you for watching my Periscope interview with Kim Weaver Moore, an excellent educator who will be on the 2016 Hairstylist Cruise, joining me as well as 28 other exciting educators. Head Shape Matters, send Kim a message if you want to know more. Thank you, Shannon, for watching. I want to say thank you, Silas. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you for all the others that are on here. If you don't follow me, please do. Then Kim, if you're still on, if you put in your thing, so Head Shape Matters, so if Kim pops up on there, make sure to follow her as well. Watch her Periscopes coming up. Mine as well. Brad Does Hair. So there she is in the orange, so at Head Shape Matters. So that's Kim Weaver Moore, Head Shape Matters, knowing your head shape, knowing, how to blend your haircuts, knowing how to stop having a flat, topped head, things like that. There's so much more. It's just so incredible. Her 7-part series program. I want to say thank you, everybody, for watching this broadcast. If you're in the 2016 Hairstylist Cruise group, watch for our video, which will be posted hopefully today, if not by tomorrow, where you can see the full interview that we're doing with Kim Weaver Moore. That you can hang on and see, comment below. So if you're not a member, join the 2016 Hairstylist Cruise group, and you can check out more about the cruise on www.hairstylistcruise.com, and we'll see you guys again soon. Bye, have a great day.